Hello and again to Stupid by UFC channel and Jane Friends channel. It is very important for a person being someone who is from Asian community to think about how many good brains have left our community and gone to fulfill their dreams. So we are going to talk about impact of brain drain on Asian community and also like other communities in general. So we got here Jane. She's from London, UK, and she immigrated in UK at age 7, and she has a long history of parents of different ethnicities, and she also knows all the things that like immigrants face over there. So, Jane, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone. Sawadee. So I'm from Thailand originally, but I moved to the UK with my stepdad and my Thai mother since I was 7, with my immediate family. And of course, before I came to the UK, I had this idea about the UK, England especially, because it's what everyone's been talking about in my community of Thailand. And living here and being on holiday here are two different things. Because when you live here, you get support, that's true, but you also work to pay tax, a lot of tax. And even though there is benefit system in the UK because the country is pretty rich, it's just that for the family that just live on that line of, you know, not living in working class, but actually have a stable job, but the money is just enough to get out of that line, but it's not enough to pay for expenses and whatnot. That could be very difficult in certain for certain families. But I have a different situation because I have two children and my daughter has special needs. So in the UK, the children are the priority. So families with children, they get support from the government. However, being, I don't know why I would call myself immigrant because when a white person fly over to other countries, they're called expats. So yeah, I don't know. I came here by
Yeah,
plane, not by boat.
yeah,
Came here legally with my passport, but I'm still seen as someone who's just
yeah,
immigrating to this country and stealing jobs. And that's in the mindset of
yeah,
certain British people who are obviously still believing in that British Empire. And they
yeah.
could be, they are
The
pretty
lamp of the
racist.
British Empire. Sun never sets in the British Empire. Yeah, something like that.
I think we kind of know the history of how things used to be.
Yeah, same guys fucked us also, like
Yeah.
in
So
India, you know that.
we'll get into the part why many country, not just in Asia continent, but in other continent as well, idolizes the West so much. It's the colonization. But
It's
funny
the
because
American dream. It's the American dream, you know?
they know how to sell you dreams, trust me. When you come over, it's a different story. But uh, how can I say this? Oh,
So I was
I forgot what,
yeah.
what I was
So
saying.
I was yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Like we are having a conversation. It's all right. I don't know, man. If you see the podcast of Joe Rogan, he does this all the time, you know.
Oh, yes.
So I want to understand like many top technological experts like people from Institute of Technology in here in India. They want to settle there. They want to settle there. They see that the lifestyle is better over there or something like that they have in the brain. I want to understand from the perspective of someone that is living in the UK.
Well, if
What do you think
you're,
and immigrating communities?
yeah, the
Yeah.
immigration here is, this country has been open for immigration,
Yeah, so brain drain.
since,
Let me let yeah. So let me just for our viewers, like just to understand what brain drain is. So brain drain, I just copied it from the Google, but
That's
it's like
funny. It's
expresses
better than my
everything.
theory.
Brain drain, yeah, yeah. Brain drain is a problem described as the process in which a country loses its most educated and talented workers to other countries through migration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So it's taken away like the gem from India, for example.
from the cream layer, the people who are most talented,
Mm,
they're just taking them.
yes. Um, I don't know why that's happening, but I do know that from my country's perspective, is that the educational system in the UK or in the US or in Europe is just much better, where I think it's pretty much
Yeah,
the same.
absolutely. The level of competition that we have to go India, I just cannot explain, like for pre-medical exams, for everything. Like I don't know how to explain to you. Even for like simple jobs, you have to like there are billion peoples, in our country. So that's why, the problem with that is absolutely horrendous. I mean, like when you have to go through such a high level of competition and you think like there the level of education is better, it's all right, but the level of competition makes you better,
Mm.
and the people who top those exams are going to that country. So that's crazy to think.
Yes, but we have a lot of say pensioners moving to other countries to settle there and probably
Yeah,
just
yeah,
developing it by bringing the pensioners' money over. So there's some sort of trading
yeah,
going on. There's always been trading within these countries for education and anything else as well. So it's just the idea that the community have is that we're less than the West, which is not true.
yeah,
You have your own deep,
yeah,
long history that's very rich, and Thailand has never been colonized. And I was going to say how funny it is that even though we've not been colonized historically, we have somehow been brainwashed to really idolize the West.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so they really do know how to sell that dreams, and especially when the whole world, the whole globe knows Hollywood. There's pure entertainment there, but it's also Hollywood through the lens of, that culture. How do they perceive us, Asian? Because back in the days, we were perceived less than. And especially when it
Yeah,
comes to like Asian women as well, it's like we're submissive, obedient, subordinate, and all that stuff, right? And it's to do with the history as well when the GIs were there during the 60s because of the Vietnam War and then settled in Pattaya in Thailand just for the rest spot. And then that became what it is today. I'm not saying
yeah,
all of Pattaya is like that, but it is well known for that sex service and industry, right? Which is why
yeah,
I
absolutely. I
get
mean, like,
all as well, not just the West, not just, and it just goes to show like the more dominant culture has the influence to the rest of the world. And so this is why, a lot of people think, yeah, if I go to this country, I get my education there, I get my British American accent, I will be seen as like in a higher social status. It's like you are relying on these people to move up the ladder, which I find it a bit weird because for the fact that you've been colonized before and you have fought for your independence, why are you still bleaching your skin?
and that privilege that they think that it's not a privilege. It's like we have given you so much. It's not a privilege. Actually, it is. You know, because the way the people treat themselves is not like it's not dependent. The law should not be dependent. The way that police treats, like I've heard that BLM protest and all that. I mean, like, how can you say that's not a privilege? Because, okay, your ancestors did great things. I mean, like, they've developed lots of things. That's all right. That's all right. But our ancestors did that too. But that thing is not documented. That thing is
Hmm.
not documented. All the medicinal systems, everything was here, but they have just like, okay, so we have documented this and we have just made the formal education so much dependent on their civilization, like their older studies, and that's
Hmm.
why we think they are better than us. We should settle there. The living standards, I mean, I don't know what that is. The living standards, I don't know what fancy term can people give, why people give such fancy terms over those civilizations that we like. I mean, in our brain they are superior to us,
Hmm.
and that's why we see this problem, the problem of brain drain.
Hmm.
You are going to live your dreams, okay? So I want to ask, like, is it entrenched in the idea of historical colonialism? Like, some people have dominated the other people of other race or other community or other country. Is it entrenched in the idea of why we are being colonized? And like, it's a culture of supremacy. Is it that, or is it like we ourselves believe that, we ourselves believe that we are like someone we are subordinate of them? Is it that, but or is it like they are assuming us?
In my
The
belief,
perspectives live.
based upon the
Yeah.
history of how they used to treat certain race as less than, with the pseudoscience involved, and you can never believe pseudoscience completely because it's just theory, it's not based on facts.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, with that, coming from the top, the knowledge or whatever it is they want to call it, I don't think it's knowledge, I think it's lies. But everything passed down from the top to the bottom, which is to us, the educational system, everything could be biased, and we could be picking it up from a biased point of view of who is the dominant dominant one. So this is why when we watch the news, don't just take it in 100% and believe it. You have to question as well, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's one of the reason why the world it is the way it is today. They still look up to the West and idolize it. But I feel like the West also idolizes Asia, you know. So there's a
Yeah,
bit of
they
like
do. once
misunderstanding.
once they realize that they are the small part of the world. I don't know, man. The population of entire Europe is lesser. I mean, like,
Yeah.
one day I would think it would be half the population of India. So
Mm.
so they just have to realize that they are a small part of the world, and they just realize, okay, we are the most civilized people. We have this and we have that, and then they are like, I mean, we are the whole world basically, and these people are illiterates, and these people are like that. And I don't know, it's people believe in their culture, that's their thing. But I don't know why people from here believe the same thing.
I think there's a split because especially with the racist British people, they're the one who still believe that they hold the power, they still have the empire, which is like, no, the empire's been given back to that country is given back to India as well. So you don't really have an empire, really. You have Commonwealth country, yes, like Jamaica, all that stuff. But with other people who not allows, but accept, not allowed, because allowed is different from accept. They literally accept people, immigrants, because they
Yeah.
understand that you need immigrants to help build the country. Because when we came out of the EU, this Brexit stuff, people were waiting in queue in a long line for petrol because there's no one importing it in because no one has that skill. Because you kick all these foreigners out
Mhm.
who have the skills and they will like operating your country to make you live an easier life and whatever. And historically, people has always been trading. People has always migrate or immigrate to that area to make it prosper, right? To make it more developed. Look at Singapore. It was like poorer than Thailand back then, but they open up for Chinese businesses, and now look at it. It's great, you know. So we
Yeah.
always have historically, like all throughout history, we needed each other because we move as a pack, and that's our nature to survive. But since we gone too far, as we move on top of the food chain, now we have time to do bullshit. Let's start a war.
Let's start.
And now
Like,
we're going backwards, like, and
I
you're
just
calling us like, yeah, we're the most civilized.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing that you said yesterday on call. You said that Putin was like studying these old books
Hmm.
of, yeah, like Soviet republics. Okay, these are Soviet republics. Privet, I am back again. Yeah, something like that.
I don't think
I don't know,
that's
man.
going to go well. And I think that, well, my boyfriend also thinks that this is what the West wants anyway, because where there's war, there's money to be
Yeah, yeah,
made. So,
absolutely,
money to be made, sorry.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. But at some point we kind of have to
You
stop
know
this.
what will happen in the end, you know?
You
What
don't
will happen
know.
in the end? Uh, I know. I mean, in the end, Biden, Putin will meet and they will shake hands with each other. Okay? And you know what? The people who are being martyred, the people that are being, killed, their parents will wait for their sons. Their wives will wait for their husbands. And the kids that are being orphaned, they will wait for their father. That's the only thing that is going to happen. And these leaders sitting at the top, they will shake hands. Everything will be all right for them. That's the thing that's going to happen.
Well, there's always the poor that suffers.
Absolutely. And
Um,
you know what? When the action that they took. Imagine if it's being some other country.
yeah,
If it's some other country that is invading the country. Now imagine that. Okay. It's because that country is actually very powerful. Russia is very powerful. They cannot
yeah,
do shit. I mean, like they can do.
they
They
can
can
only
do
sanction.
economically. Yeah, they can sanction them. So this is like talking about the things in your like when you adapt, when you survive in a community. We are moving to the topic of what the society expects from you. And now we are talking about the pressure of adapting in a new community. When you adapt to a new community, you have moved there,
Mm,
and as like I mean, as a doctor, sometimes I in our culture, there's a senior in our college that have went there, to study in postgraduate. So I just want to understand, like, the pressure of adapting to a new community. What are the pressures? What do they expect you? I know what do they expect you to do. You should do your job, you should do your pay your taxes. And
mm,
also I just want to understand, like, for a new person that is present there,
mm,
thinking about the dream that they
mm,
sold for so long. They are thinking, okay, we are going to have this and we are going to have that. When they go there, they realize that life is actually way better
different.
in their own country, because they
Yeah.
were like they were like the top, they were like top of the food chain type of people,
Mm,
because they're the creamy layer of their country, and
mm.
now they're going to a different country, and now they're like working class.
Yes.
So what are the pressure that you feel like adapting to a new community?
Well, adapting wouldn't be hard if you come in with the British attitude. And I don't mean like the racist attitude. You need to be able to blend
Yeah.
in with other people, other ethnicity, because it's so diverse, especially in major cities and the capital city.
Blending in the sense of what? Okay, I'm
In a
just about
sense
to ask.
of
Blending in the sense of what?
attitude, mindset, in a sense of that you
Yeah.
can't be racist in this country, because if you are, you will get fired from your job. You get complaints,
Yeah.
formal complaints and whatnot. I myself have been through the experience of being looked down by other Asian countries, even though they come to live and work here, just like my parents do. I get looked
Yeah.
down like because of me being Asian and also a woman. So if I say to them that I'm from Thailand originally, they would have looked at me like, "Oh, you're just some prostitute working here," and it's ridiculous. But that's from a
Oh my
mindset of
God.
someone who's just ignorant. However, of course, I have gone through racist experience with Black people of the UK, and so has my friends, my Thai friends, and not just the Black people of the UK, but also in America as well, because everything is online now. And of course, because it's online now, it's really showing on a bigger scale of how many racist people there are, right? But
Yeah,
there's always
absolutely. The
racism.
idiocy, the idiot nature of people are like on full display because of the internet. They just that because those idiotic things were hidden because there
Hmm.
was no means of communication.
Yes,
Actually, they say that internet has made people insane. I don't think the people were like sane before internet. I
mm,
think it's just their idiotic things are being expressed on a larger scale
yes.
because of the
It's
internet.
being exposed even more with TikTok now being a
Yeah,
worldwide thing.
yeah.
So we get to witness more of the stupidity around the world. And now we can actually use this as a point of education, because now you have a different point of view when you meet these people from the country that you idolize, and then you realize this. that they're being racist,
That's
right? And so ignorant.
yeah,
You have this
absolutely,
idea like, oh, you're from a
absolutely.
first world country, so you would have like really great education. When I first came here, my expectation of white people, white children here is education would be good. It turns out no.
Yeah,
And like I said, even though the country has colonized that and this country, the poor people doesn't benefit anything from it.
yeah, yeah,
So to
absolutely.
my surprise, I'm like, wow, you're stupid. You know? So, but then
Yeah,
I
that's the
can
thing.
I can say the same thing for my country where there's lack of education and how they laughed at black people because just because they're black, you know? And it's just like the fuck is wrong
Yeah,
with you?
absolutely. In our country, you know what happens.
Mm.
There, if there, do you know the thing about arranged marriages? You know that, I think.
Mhm.
They like love marriage is very rare in our country. It's about arranged marriages. So if a girl is like not fair, if a girl is like a little bit, on the darker side, his complexion is not that fair,
Mhm.
it would be very hard for her father or her mother to find a groom for her.
Yes, because there's that colorism that's still
and
going
and
on in
and
Asia.
and yeah, yeah, and we complain about, white people are racist, but what are we doing here?
Exactly. You're just not no different from those who oppress others based upon the physical traits and whatnot, which is very superficial. But
Yeah,
that's just the way the leader knows how to divide people on the very
yeah,
small silly things such as skin color, skin complexion. The way that Asia advertised the skin bleaching, being white is privilege. You must stay away from the sunlight. Otherwise you'll never find a boyfriend. You'll never get that job that you want.
yeah, yeah,
You'll never
absolutely.
be happy if you're
My,
dark.
you know what my mother says, what my mother believes sometimes.
What?
My mother says, don't drink tea, you will be blacker, and you will want to get a, very beautiful bride.
But the funny thing is, Westerners love
I
to go
don't.
tan. They love to tan. Where have
Yeah,
you been,
yeah,
mother?
yeah, they like it. Yeah, yeah, and I don't know, man. I don't think tea can count someone being black. I don't think that's the thing. That's not a thing. But she's like that. I don't know why.
That's just, old grandmom's tale thing. It's just make up, make
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. Okay. You know those Indian dads. You have to be topper of the class.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That's
the
the
same
thing
in
that they say.
most
Oh,
Asian communities. Like, get good grades, make parents proud. Don't bring shame to the family. God, I'll disown you. Mom, I'm going through
yeah.
depression. What is depression? What is it? I don't understand. Just get over it. Come on, get up.
Yeah, you will get slapped if you have depression.
Yeah, that's gonna make it even better, isn't it? Great. Well done, Asia.
Yeah,
Asian parents.
yeah, absolutely.
I feel like a
So
lot of
this
this
was
is
like, I
coming
mean,
from the pressure of, idolizing another country and then pushing the children to do well and be more white or something.
yeah. So it's like I have been the host till now. I have asked you many questions,
Hmm.
okay? And you had the benefit that I have given you questions priorly,
Hmm.
okay? That's why you're saying better. So, I mean, if you want to ask something,
Hmm.
I mean, I can do impromptu. I can just answer it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm smart, okay?
sure. Have
So,
we
okay.
finished
So
with
if you want
the
to,
with all these questions now?
yeah,
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 I, it's lagging a bit, but yeah. So I would say if you were to adapt to this community here, especially in the most culturally diverse area, you would have to be open-minded with all types of religion and genders, and because of the human rights here is is treated as top priority. That's it, yeah.
yeah,
But be wary of, racist and unfair individuals that will take advantage of you based upon, oh, you can't really speak English very well or stuff like that. So they would think you don't know
yeah.
your rights, but you have to read your rights. You have to.
I don't know, man. I've done some interviews for some other people for like other channels, and I've done like not really big YouTubers like us,
Mm.
people with like under 1,000 subscribers or under 10,000 subscribers, you know. So so they said like your English is good, amazing. Oh, so are you rich? Are you a rich person in India? I said, how can you assume that, you know, someone who belongs to middle class from India cannot speak English very well? They're like, are you rich? I said, no, I'm not that rich. I belong to a, you know, I can say middle class community. And they're like, your English is nice. How do you assume that? How would you assume that?
Mm. So it's like if
And to
you're
be
able
honest, I
to
don't
speak
think my English
that,
is that nice.
oh, your English is fine. You've just fit right in London. Perception from the people from our countries that hasn't visit or are able to speak English would find us like fascinating or sometimes despise us because it's something that they wish to be, but they
Yeah,
feel like they can't reach.
yeah,
And I get a lot of issues between not just the racist people here of England. I also get a prejudice from my own people. I don't mean all of them, and I'm only just talking about a small scale that I came across, and it's like they resent me for for existing.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Because they despise you. They think that you belong to such an upper class of the community. You have achieved your dream. We want to achieve your dream too. Can you teach me English?
see, I'm happy to teach you English. I'm happy to teach you for free as well, and I feel like any time that you're able to speak more than one languages is an advantage, right? So I'm happy for that.
Absolutely. I mean, see, I am actually, you know, thankful for English people sometimes because I can communicate with people from different culture because of them. If
Because
imagine
they
if they have
colonize
not
everyone.
conquered yeah, yeah, because imagine they have not colonized many countries.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Imagine
why
that
Thailand
situation.
is not very good at speaking English compared to like
Yeah.
next door neighbors. And a lot of Thai people would feel a certain
Ah,
way, like they're
ah,
stupid, but they're not.
there's there, there, there's a you know statistics about it. You know the most number of English speakers in the world belong. I mean, the maximum number of English speakers are from which country? Do you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
The people who can English at the level like people can understand it and speak in like
they can
they
do
can
business
communicate
with that.
not so well, but they can know you know that
Sorry, you were lagging there.
from India.
Sorry?
You were lagging there.
Yeah, so
Sorry?
the maximum number of English speaking people are from India itself.
Hmm.
That's interesting, isn't it?
I can hear myself
And
repeating.
you know what?
I can hear myself repeating.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how to fix it. Let's not mention it during the interview. Haha.
Okay. Um, I mean, in a way, it helps. That's the whole point of colonizing, is to make everyone just like them. But the thing is, you don't get
Yeah,
treated the same.
yeah, yeah.
So that's why you
You
fought for
don't
your
you don't get treated
independence.
the same. Yeah. So it's like I mean, if you're for me, I mean, I would just conclude it here because I think we're reaching the half-hour mark. So uh, I would say that for people who are at the top of their community, at the top of their, you know, at the top of their, you know, like at the top of the food chain, they are good at like any field in medical or in technology or in anything. They should try to be at the top of the food chain. Why are you going to a different place where you were not the, you know, you're not the best? I mean, even if you are the best, you won't be treated like you are the best.
Yeah, there is what you call it? In England, it's different. People are more likely to respect you for having a nice personality. Of course, there are some groups that are very superficial and materialistic, but you have to understand this is in every community. However, in the UK, Normally, people don't have the attitude of wanting to know what jobs you do, how much you earn, what kind of car you have, what brand name designers you wear. You may see that flashiness on like music
Yeah.
videos and stuff, but that's a different kind of culture there. We, as just regular people, we just get on with life. We don't talk in the group like, oh, yes, I have, I don't know, Armani from there, none of that. Because people would just look at you like, are you okay? Like the need to brag about designers just make us want to like vomit. It's just like
Mhm.
it's like, oh, maybe you never had this before in your life, and it's like, oh, you just got it now, and you're so proud of it, and you have to show off. It's a bit pathetic.
Look at
Yeah,
just like this. Look at my watch. They are just
yeah,
constantly showing their watch
yeah,
like this.
yeah. And I think if you go into the right group that admire you for that, then you found the right group. But I don't hang out in that kind of group. And most of
Yeah.
the people that I know who are British born, they're not flashy. So not everyone drives a Jaguar. Like somebody has told me, this is what I think about England. Everyone drives a Jaguar. I'm like, no, I get on the fucking bus.
BMW. Some people like bus, like Boris Johnson. He
Boris
paints buses
Johnson's a
all the
fucking
time.
liar.
Oh my God. Do you want a cup of tea? I just
No,
like his
fuck off,
accent, man.
Boris. You liar.
No, you saw that interview where there was like one reporter who was trying to meet him. Do you call someone like something like this? They said to themselves,
Pardon?
so you like this? They like they are asking something that you've said something very racist. How dare you, Boris? And he was holding a cup of tea. You saw that interview,
I
and
didn't.
he just
No.
constant and he was like, "Can you have a cup of tea?" And they were like, "Boris, okay, Boris, please answer us." And he was like, "Can you have a cup of tea? Can you have a cup of tea? Can you have a cup of tea?" And he was saying this on repeat. I will send you the video. I will
Oh,
send you the video.
please, let me just,
It it was
cuss him
it
out.
was it was so. Oh my goodness. So you guys don't like Boris,
I don't like him. He's a liar. He
and
had three parties within a week of during the first lockdown, and I'm just like, I'm appalled
yeah.
that the citizen of the UK does not seem to do much about it, even though he's being caught lying.